Hello one, hello all, it is the Gothiest Ghost of Mall, Caspa in the Flesh, and it's time for a review of 21 Savage, Drake, Her Loss, Drake, 21 Savage, coming together on this one album. And I was skeptical going into this due to the fact of how lethargic Drake's past projects have been, how flavorless and bland and very underwhelming his two albums have been. But 21 though, I had faith because 21 has improved massively from his first few projects. So over the year he's gotten progressively better. Drake, on the other hand, has gotten progressively worse, unfortunately. I just don't think he's making good production choices anymore. I think he sounds very lethargic. I think he's just run out of the passion at this point. Until I heard this album. Because I feel like Drake has definitely come back here. We have Champagne Poppy again. NyQuil Poppy, no. Well, he makes some appearances here and there, but we'll get into that. And, this isn't their first rodeo with the collab. Drake has collabed with Future in the past when it comes to the collab game, such as What a Time to Be Alive, 21, with the Offset collab, with Metro Boomin in the mix, with Without Warning. So yeah, this is not their first rodeo. And Travis Scott is on this album. And I feel like those were decent collabs, so that gave me hope. With decent collabs under their belt, I was like, okay. So they know how to make it work. They know how to make a collab work. Because Without Warning had bangers. What a Time to Be Alive had bangers. Now, did they make my album of the year list? No, but they still were able to deliver a decent project. So, with that being said, now we have Her Loss. And I feel like the production has more presence here. Drake's vocal melodies are more memorable here. 21 has some bars here and charisma here. Drake has bars here that really stand out and hit. Like, I feel like we're definitely getting what we've been asking for in small portions. We don't get it all throughout, but we'll get into that. Because when they deliver heat, and they're definitely playing to their strengths here. When they are playing to their strengths, I feel they coalesce greatly, especially on the track Rich Flex, where Drake and 21's lyrics definitely hit here. Although I don't necessarily agree with the misogyny, I could definitely enjoy the cold-blooded nature of their performance on here. I feel like Drake delivers some nice melodic leads here. The beat switch on the back end is really nice. And that's one thing I love about this. It definitely reminds me of Not What a Time. If you're reading this, It's Too Late, which is a fantastic project from Drake. And I feel like we get smidgets of that on here with the beat switches and the griminess of the production and the realism of the bars here. And the confidence too. Like, Drake sounds confident on here. 21 sounds confident on here. Now, with this album being as long as it is, with an hour, you want to make sure it's tight. You want to make sure there's no bullshit. You want to make sure every track hits hard. Unfortunately, we don't get that. There was a huge gap of quality, especially with Privileged Rappers, which lyrically falls flat. And in the context of, a smooth, seductive track, it's kind of weird to make bars about wiping yourself off of your partner's bra and then passing it off as sexy, which I felt they were trying to do, but it just didn't work. And also, Drake sounds really comatose here. So maybe if it was like a more sporadic, hyped up track, that might have worked, but due to the fact it's so comatose and tender, L. Definitely an L on that one. Major Distribution, I feel, brings like a dreamy, gorgeous intro, and then a nice beat switch right after, smoothly transitioning into this really sinister, grimy production. And Drake and 21 give a really aggressive performance here. And they're not going completely insane here, but at least they're bringing something catchy to the mix, a catchy refrain to the mix. And the production has like very eerie piano keys on it. Definitely a confident demeanor here, which is undeniable. On BS, it's a very tight display of like back and forth flex bars with Drake and 21. And I love how they carry off each other. Where 21 goes, I jump on your song, make you sound like the feature. And then Drake comes in and goes, I jump on your song, make your label think they need you. So yeah, definitely some very, very nice back and forth here. Very nice chemistry. Their chemistry definitely reigns here when they're doing a track with each other. And there's definitely like a heavy Thugga influence on the first solo of this album, especially on Backoutside Boyz, which the Thugga influence goes either way. It goes well on Backoutside Boyz, which I feel Drake brings a very melodic, choppy flow to the mix, and Savages, no pun intended. I mean, there are some weird political bars here, but aside from that, I felt like it was a banger. Spin 'Bout You. Ooh, this track leaves a lot to be desired. It's pretty rough. Although I do dig certain things they bring up. Production's pretty soulless, emotionally bankrupt, and goddamn, it just comes off really half-hearted. And Drake just sounds very much comatose here. And Hours of Silence, I don't know who let 21 think he could like croon on here, but it doesn't go well. It's just a very horrendous choice here, in my opinion. And pretty much like the middle is just loaded with snoozers. Circo Loco, which is probably the biggest offender here, aside from the really gross exploitive meg bars on here. It's just very exploitive, very much in bad taste. But if that wasn't bad enough, the weekly sampled Daft Punk of One More Time really is an offender here, for sure. Drake just singing it so half-heartedly. The production's not even as powerful as the original. When you're doing this, when you're covering greatness, you want to go all in. And Drake did not go all in. He put his toe in and just trailed off. Now, the album does pick up, however. I think Pussy and Millions featuring Travis Scott is a really good choice here. A really good cut here. Lavish soul sample. Definitely like a bounce here. Memorable hook. Nice, regal, atmospheric production here. Nice inclusion from Travis Scott. And nice grand synth horns. Like, it's a very grand track. It's a banger, for sure. Broke Boys has a nice sonic blend of like woozy and grand, and honestly it's probably the hardest banger that Drake has ever been a part of in a while, not of all time, in a while. In Middle of the Ocean, Drake just goes full emotion on display here, full bars on display here, and probably delivers the hardest Genius set of bars, not only on this whole album, but in the past few years. Probably of this decade from him. This is the hardest I've heard him in a while. Like saying, no chance the kid will make it here, like vasectomy. Treat me like a newborn Lucian, not dropping me. She could be giving me head and somebody, and somehow you not topping me. Or I feel like I'm Amber Alert, how I could take her to the mall and find Tiffany. Like, yeah, Drake is just going sick with the bars here. More M's is another banger on here, very catchy, definitely capturing that sinister ethos that they had going on in the beginning of the record. And the persona here is definitely realized on Guess It's Fuck Me, where Drake shows like this really intriguing, very emotive commentary on how he feels he's been done wrong. And this is pretty much like the supervillain origin on display here, how everything pretty much comes into fruition and how Drake's vulnerability reigns on here, which forms him into this villain of the track. And not every solo venture goes off without a hitch, unfortunately. I do feel like Drake wears his thugga influence again, but not exactly in a flattering way. Jumbotron Shit Poppin' is a prime example of that. 21 doesn't exactly wear his champagne poppy influence on his sleeve very well on 3 a.m. on Glenwood. I just don't feel like his voice fits this type of production, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a good project. Some great bars here, some memorable hooks. 21 and Drake, again, have like great chemistry here. Drake delivers very fun, catchy melodies here. Production's fun for the most part. So overall, I do feel like this was a good project. I did have an issue with production choices on here and vocal performances on here, but overall, pretty decent. I'm feeling a 3 out of 5 black hearts on this. But if you've checked this out, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And leave a comment below on your thoughts. Descriptive thoughts, even if you did like it. Even if you did like it. Because I'd be curious to know. And that's it. Caspa. Gothic Ghost. 21. Drake. Her Loss. Till next time.